Hey Snapchat, it's day 2 on my Snapstorm on negotiations. Today I'm going to talk about how to get a negotiation started. If you listen to most people's advice on negotiation, they'll tell you it's always the other side that should start first. The problem is, that's wrong. The reason that people tell you that the other side should go first is that often you see their cards played first before you have to play yours. And what this means is perhaps they're willing to give you a lot more than you thought you were going to get. And the feeling is that you go first, you may actually narrow the scope of your negotiation. And the truth is this is actually partially true, but only partially. It's the most critical thing that people get wrong in a negotiation. When you negotiate with another party, you have to understand the other side's approval process. I'm going to tell you why. People aren't going to just throw out commercial terms for you in a negotiation without having the budget authority or approval of someone more senior or a different department. So a really important technique that I like to use in a negotiation is called anchoring. Anchoring is the most important thing in a negotiation. Let me give you an example through M&A. Let's say you're selling your company and you want to negotiate with a prospective buyer. If that buyer goes to his or her senior people and requests a purchase price, let me make it up and say $50 million. Once they've gone for approval for that, it's incredibly hard for them to come back and say, we got it wrong, it's really $80 million. Anchoring is the process by which you give guidance to a range without naming a number. In this case, you might say, look, our post money in our last funding was 30 million post, and we know VCs expect 3 to 5 times their money. We think in our company, of course, they want 5x. They're probably more willing to settle in about the 3 times their last money range. And even though they're going to push us higher, as management, we really want to work with you. So we think we have some leverage to get it into that general range. So you really just told the buyer that the expectation is it'll be between $90 to $150 million, but you didn't actually name those prices. The important thing about anchoring is to have a range, but also to have rationale, a justification. Any savvy buyer will pick up on these signals. They may ask for clarification, but at least they know the range of expectations. Or let's say you're negotiating with someone about to join your company and you want to pay them $120,000 a year. If as the founder you're paying yourself below market, you might start by saying, look, I'm paid $80,000. I know that I'm paid less than market. We're an early stage company and cash is king right now, so we're really trying to keep cash comp down. At the director level, our options packages run around 0.25 to 0.4% depending on your cash pack. After you anchor, it's your job to listen. You want to get feedback and you want to do it eyeball to eyeball. This is why in the case of recruiting, you should never have a recruiting agency discuss the package with a candidate even though they'll tell you they should. If you anchor at 120 by pointing out that you are only paid 80 and they say there's absolutely no way I could work for less than 150, at least you know their expectations in the negotiation. Negotiations are all about testing assumptions and finding out what's important to the other side. And in the case of companies, please remember that if you don't anchor, if that person doesn't understand the price range, once they go up the approval chains to ask for approval on anything, it's really hard for them to go back. Because going back a second time with the price range ruins their credibility. That's why anchoring is critical. And back to the starting place, once you've anchored, you do want the other side to take the first move.